All right, welcome back to WMMA now with your host Chuck Stevenson coming at you tonight with a big fight review. So we're going to One Championship on Prime Video 2. We're going to the main event, Strawweight, 125-pound championship. Xiong Jingnan coming in at 17-2. She's the champ, taking on the challenger Angela Lee coming in at 11-2. Now this is the rubber match of the trilogy. First fight happened at 125 pounds. Xiong retained her title. Second bout, Xiong moved down to Lee's weight, atom weight, 115 in one. Lee retained. Both fights ended in fifth round finishes. So this is the rubber match. You know, the trilogy is supposed to decide everything. This was a big fight. You know, I was kind of peeved when they first made it, but I'll tell you what, as the fight got closer and closer, I got super excited, and I had a great time with the fight companion for this. But this is a long fight. I have a ton of notes, so let me hurry up and get into it. All right, first round. Lee pressured forward. Xiong started working shots to the body early, circling around. Lee started throwing some kicks. Xiong dropped Lee with a right hand. Lee shot, but Xiong was able to sprawl, kneed the head, and then backed off. From there, Xiong landed big punches to Lee's head, dropped her again. Lee held Xiong's leg, looking for a takedown. She was hurt. Xiong stood over her, landed punches, and the referee, Herb Dean, he was looking closely. He was close to stopping the fight. Lee recovered, though, looked for a single leg, then clinched against the fence, got some knees. Now, Lee landed an Uchimata takedown, but Xiong landed up on top, started landing some ground and pound, and then she stood up and separated. Lee got up, coming forward, but she was eating punches on the way in. Threw some nice kicks. Lee did get a late clinch and landed some knees. So huge, huge first round for the champ Xiong. Second round, right cross to a mid-high kick by Lee. Xiong's punches are still accurate. Takedown attempt to the clinch by Lee. Trip by Lee. Got straight to side control, but Xiong was back up. But Lee found a front headlock. And then there was multiple knees landed by or thrown by Lee. Second time watching it, looks like about half of them were blocked. Now Lee still had the headlock, the front headlock, but dropped back for the choke. But Xiong was able to get back up. Lee threw some more knees. And then Lee pulled her down, got into Xiong's guard. But Xiong was able to separate and stand. And then there was some range striking. Lee got a nice overhand right to takedown attempt, but Xiong was able to stay up. Then there was some clinch work. And then from there, action slowed down a little bit. There were some punches by Lee. Xiong was able to separate, get some punches in. Some Lee kicks, and then Xiong started going to the body again. Third round, so it was a big comeback round for Angela Lee there. Third round, Lee shot for the takedown early. Xiong sidestepped, punching, almost dropped Lee, chasing her down with more big punches. Lee pressured to the clinch, ate some punches on the way in, but Lee got a nice elbow up top, really nice elbow too. I got to give her credit for that. Really nice elbow. Then there was some separation. Xiong landed some more body shots. Lee landed a body kick. Lee kicked her way in, but Xiong was able to counter with some nice punches. And then some more Xiong punches had Lee down to a knee. And Xiong was basically kind of starting to play Matador at this point in the fight. She dug to the body more as Lee entered range. Lee dove on a leg, and then Xiong got on her bike, though, evaded, and Lee ate more shots trying to close. Some more body work by Xiong. Lee threw some hard punches and some clinch knees to close out the round. So fourth round, Lee kicked to the clinch, got some knees. Xiong managed to separate. Then Xiong landed some more counter on Lee's entries. A nice 1-2 lands for Lee, and then a nice 1-2 landed for Xiong. Another for Xiong. She was countering and circling. That was, by this point in the game, it was obvious what Xiong wanted to do. She was countering and circling. Some Lee kicks followed by some punches. They landed. Xiong managed to block a body kick, and then Lee tried to enter, ate a big left hand on entry. She converted it, dropping to an ankle grab, but the ankle grab was denied by Lee, who managed to land a nice knee to Angela Lee's head. Lee got to clinch to the fence, and then both separated. And then Lee missed a right hand and a kick. Big right hand landed for Xiong. And then Lee came forward punching. Xiong countered and circled away again. But then Lee came forward punching again. Xiong countered, but Lee was able to get to the clinch this time. And then Lee got some knees and an elbow to close out the 4th round. So we're going to the 5th round. So for the 3rd time, these two ladies are going to a 5th round. Xiong landed a left as Lee entered range. More punches. Lee landed a body kick. Xiong circled out. Lee clinched, hunted for a trip. She got the takedown, but as soon as she passed guard, Xiong was able to use the wall to get back to her feet. Knee landed for Lee, and then a hook by Lee as she separated. That was a nice hook too, now that I remember it. Xiong got some more body shots in. Each landed a right hand. Lee threw a 1-2 coming forward. Xiong circled away. Lee kicked to the body. Xiong landed a nice right hand to counter off of that kick. At one point, Lee threw a Superman punch, but it was way outside of range. Lee, even well into the 5th round, she still kept going forward, and Xiong was circling, and they were trading punches. Lee landed a 1-2, and then final 10-15 seconds, both just started throwing all the way pretty much right up to the end of the fight. So this time, no 5th round finish this time. We were going to a judge's decision. And I'm thinking, and in my head, and you can watch this, you can go back and watch the fight companion I did, but I'm thinking, well, I thought Xiong won it, but I was also thinking that she had to finish to win, because there's no way they were going to give the decision to Lee. However, the result, and they read it off, all 3 judges scored it for your winner by unanimous decision, Xiong Jingnan, retaining her title. So Xiong wins the trilogy 2-1. She won the 2 fights in her division, lost when she went down a weight class to Angela. Now, a lot of people are calling this a controversial decision. I'm going to be honest, I disagree. Now, a lot of you Lee fans out there be like going, well, you hate Angela Lee. Of course you would see it for Xiong. Listen, let's go down to judging criteria real quick. And this is at onefc.com/martial-arts. You can find the judging criteria. And it is in descending order. And keep in mind, the bout is scored in its entirety, not round by round. So the judging criteria in descending order of importance: near knockout, near submission. Lee never got close to a near submission. Xiong definitely came close to a knockout or technical knockout in the 1st round. Second, damage. Internal, accumulated, superficial. Now, did Xiong wear some damage too? Yes. Was it as much as Angela Lee? No. Third, striking combinations and cage ring generalship, in parentheses, ground control and superior positioning. They were both landing good combinations. So you could say that's even. Now, some people are going to say cage ring generalship, that should go to Lee because Xiong was running away. First off, I'll address the running away in a second. If one fighter is moving forward, if one fighter is constantly countering and then moving away and then inviting the other fighter to come forward, you got to give them the ring generalship. Okay? Just because someone's moving forward the whole time doesn't mean they are controlling the cage or the ring. The fighter who is implementing their game plan better is the one who is in charge of that circle. So striking combinations about even. cage ring generalship, got to give it to Xiong because she was making Lee play her game. Now, earned takedowns or earned takedown defense. That's number 4. One championship scores takedown defense equally to earned takedowns. And Angela got what? 2 takedowns in the entire fight? 2 legit takedowns? And Xiong defended at least 4. So again, the takedown defense outscores the earned takedowns here in this one. So that goes to Xiong. Finally, aggression. All right, fine. That is the lowest one. And you can give that to Lee because she was constantly coming forward. And counterfighting really isn't going to win aggression. That's just the truth of it. If you're a counterfighter, you're never going to win aggression. So we'll give that one to Lee. But if you look at that judging criteria again, it's very hard to see it for Angela Lee. And some people are saying, well, if it was under unified rules, Angela Lee would win. Again, I disagree. Lee really didn't get enough time on the ground to implement her game plan. And Xiong was making her play her game the entire time and was landing a lot of effective counter strikes. I would have it at least 3 rounds to 1 for Xiong. And with that near finish, you could even claim round 1 would be a 10-8 under the unified scoring. All right, like I said, Lee's best asset was aggression, which again, it was low on scoring, but and she was eating counters all night. Now let's talk Xiong was running away for 5 fights. Listen, if you think that's running away, if you think landing punches, circling out to the other side to basically set it up to do the exact same thing again, if you think that's running away, I think you're watching the wrong sport. Okay, landing counters and then getting out of the way to basically make your opponent come forward so that you can land counters again, that's not running away. It's called smart fighting. It's called good countering. Okay, Xiong really didn't want to bother with more clinch work with Lee, so what do you do? Lee's coming straight forward, trying to get you against the cage. You counter, you create it, you find the angle, you get out and move away, and then make her come forward again. It's not running away. It's called resetting. Where am I at on my notes? All right, so it seems like Xiong learned the most from the previous 2 fights. It seems like she definitely learned the most, learned how to counter just about everything Lee was doing. But where is Lee's improvements? A lot of people keep seeing this online on social media. Oh, Angela has improved so much in her time off. Angela has improved so much in her time off. Where were the improvements? I'm just not seeing them. And I said this in my preview for this fight. It's like, where are the improvements? We really didn't get to see anything new from her in the stamp fight. So I think all the people saying that Angela had improved during the time off is pure conjecture. Now, I will give Lee this. Her kicks were working. She was doing good job with the kicks, especially to the body. But as soon as she really pressed forward, she gave up on the kicks to press forward, which you kind of have to do. But she would just give up on the kicks and just go straight forward. And then she would eat the counters. So when she was working the kicks, she was doing good, but then she didn't parlay that into anything else. And then, I kept saying, Xiong's counters were money all night. She was just countering Lee. Lee would come forward. Xiong would just land punches and then get out of the way. And then, so 2-1 for Xiong. Both of her wins coming in her division. I gotta be honest, it seems like when Lee doesn't have a clear size advantage, she's just not doing as good. It seems like so much of her game relies on her ability to not only eat punches on the way in, but also to use her size advantage to muscle her opponents. And it seems like she just cannot do that against opponents that she doesn't have a clear size advantage against, like Xiong, and Michelle Nicolini. My final note here. Is there a fourth fight incoming? It seems like One Championship was pressing for it. Seems like they want to do a fourth fight down in Angela's division. My personal preference, I think they need to build up Xiong's division. They've gotten away for so long with not signing new fighters to it. They need to build her division. I think they've seriously done her a disservice. And Lee needs to defend her belt. Period. Like, she's had one title defense in like almost 3 years now. So she needs to defend against someone in her own division. All right, so let's talk things to work on for Xiong. She did great. She really countered. She used Lee's momentum well. I'd like to see her take the center more. There was a lot of this fight where she was just working on the outside. I'd like to see her take the center more, give her more room to work. That's just my preference, because in a preview I wanted her to stay away from, the outer circle, that space between the black inner circle and the fence. But she did it well. But I'd still like to see her take the center more, and maybe she will against fighters where she doesn't have to just actively work to counter the whole time. For Lee, okay, first off, head movement. Okay, maybe she needs to go work with Edmond Tarvedian, Ronda Rousey's old coach, but she has zero head movement. None. You can't just come forward all the time, eating shots to the chin. She was getting dropped in this fight. I mean, she's gotten dropped against Mei Yamaguchi, but she got dropped hard in this fight. And it was purely based on Xiong using Lee's momentum against her to land counters. If Lee learned head movement, it would just completely change her game. Completely change her game if she learned some freaking head movement. Also, learn to create and use angles to close the distance. She just comes forward in a straight line all the time. It's so predictable, so open to counters. So not only does she have no head movement, she doesn't really have any footwork either. If she could learn some head movement and some footwork, she'd go back to being truly unstoppable, I think. At least in her division. Now, for fights to make, sticking with Lee, get back down to your division. Defend your title. Sal Hee-Ham's waiting. That's the fight to make right now at the one atomweight division. For Xiong, well, unless they do the fourth fight, which I think would be unnecessary, One Championship needs to sign some fighters for her. I mean, they're just going to have to bring in some brand new fighters to the promotion and give them a title shot, which they've done for her before. But guess what? All of those fighters are gone, mostly. There's almost no strawweights left in One Championship. Even Tiffany Teo went down in weight. They need to sign fighters, and I don't understand what they've been waiting on. It's so goofy. Build the division. Other than that, I don't have anything. I don't know who they could give to Xiong to face. Anyway, those are my thoughts on this fight. Xiong Jingnan defeating Angela Lee via unanimous decision. Sorry it took so long to get this out. It's been 5 days now. 5-round fights are just the hardest to review. So apologies for getting this review out so late. But let me know your thoughts on the fight in the comments down below. Now, if you like the video, please give it a like. Share it as well. That's how word spreads. And while you're at it, don't forget to subscribe to WMMA Scene Now, the best, most complete women's mixed martial arts dedicated platform on YouTube. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.